Good luck. Yeah, Leon and Ada's relationship is one of those things where it's like, I wish there was more of it, but I'm glad that, like, it doesn't, like, oversaturate it, so to speak. Like, it doesn't ruin it by showing too much. And, like, for their relationship, what their relationship is, it is those small interactions that aren't plentiful, but they have meaning to both of them. So Claire took the elevator down, and this area is not this one, but like down. I was mentioning, yeah, actually I think this area you come to, not up there, but like this catwalk, if I remember right. I probably am not. But in Resident Evil 0, this elevator is one of those things that you come across when coming back to this area, and it's just really dumb and bad. But I've talked about that, and again, it doesn't make sense just hearing me talk about it. You have to, like, see it for yourself and witness the atrocity. Let's actually show off this shotgun, because let's check the monitor here. Dun dun dun! It's Mr. X. He's on the monitor. I don't know how he got here. I guess Mr. X, like, sensed that we left the police station, even though his whole goal is to kill police officers. For some reason, he just knew that we were here now, and we are his prey. So check out this fucking badass new shot. Ow. Man, that's so fast. Badass new shotgun. Like, it has such a massive blast that it actually pushes Leon back. If you notice, like, there was a massive amount of recoil to his animation. Like, let's actually get, like, see if we can get a good shot of it. Like, he got, like, pushed back and had to, like, adjust the shotgun in his hands because of the massive recoil. Like, this has so much damage potential to it now. I don't know, like, I don't have the math on it, but I think the upgraded shotgun might eke out the regular Magnum in terms of sheer damage potential. But like the extended barrel, like, Leon's just a weak little police officer. Like, he doesn't have this exceptional build. Like, he's not a big muscle man. In fact, like, even in Resident Evil 4 and 6, he does more often, he's kicking it bitches around the place. Oh shit, I didn't even notice these. He's kicking bitches all over the place. Like, he doesn't have massive amounts of upper body strength. So he's working this shotgun, and it's kind of kicking him back. Whereas you can imagine maybe Chris wouldn't have that problem.
Come on, let's go.
So we had to use the key to call the elevator back up, and again, explicitly saying that, like, Claire is kind of one step ahead of Leon throughout this game. Like, she went through the subway car first, she went down this elevator first. And this elevator is in Resident Evil 0. Impossibly. Like, it's not this elevator in another location. It's just so dumb. Bullets in the toilet. Oh yeah, Magnum bullets. They know what's up. That's always so suspicious, like a boss fountain, where it's like, hey, guess what? You're gonna have a fucking boss fight. Here's some ammo. That makes sense, I guess, because Claire would have already used the key outside, but... There we go. Yep. Because Claire already used it, so the key would still be in there instead of being set back on the key ring inside, which is pretty funny. Except in Resident Evil 0, it doesn't have the train in it. Like, I guess they installed the train in between the day before the Spencer estate thing went down with the STARS team, and now, like, doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, bitch slap! Keep that pimp hand strong, G.
Ada, can you hear me? Come on, snap out of it.
Just randomly got fucking ganked by Birkin out there. She's unconscious. So if you remember, this is after Claire's fight with him on the elevator, where his head, normal human head, retracted. And his body was just left on the elevator as it was going down. Where is he? Oh, here we go. Yeah! Look, he's all fucked up because Claire blew him up. You can still see a little bit of William Birkin's regular human head there. But now G has just completely overtaken. Look at this John Carpenter-ass motherfucker. That's what I love about about Resident Evil 2. Like, it's heavily, overtly inspired by, like, 80s action horror movies, because this is an action horror game. It's overly inspired by, like, 80s action horror movies by the likes of James Cameron with Terminator and Alien, and John Carpenter's The Thing. G is look at him just hanging there. G is totally a John Carpenter's The Thing style of monster, where he's just, every time you encounter him, he becomes less and less human and becomes more and more degenerating into just an incomprehensible blob of flesh and fangs and teeth. Uh-oh.
Welcome back. Hey, take it easy. We're inside Umbrella's secret lab. I'll go find something to treat that wound, so just rest here in the meantime.
But I'll only slow you down with these injuries. Go. Save yourself.
Is it just me, or does everybody always ignore what I say? I told you, it's my job to look after you.
But you'll be in danger if you stay with me. I know I've only known you for a short period of time, but I really enjoy being with you. I know I'm not capable of caring about anyone, but I don't want to lose you.
We're leaving this place together. Wait here for me. I'll be right back.
Now, I think part of that interaction was her trying to manipulate him to get him to go away. But the part where she was like, I'll only slow you down with these injuries, you should just leave me so that you can survive, I think that was a little genuine. Because she's a spy, and her only relationship with people is, like, using them, and then when they're no longer useful, tossing them aside because they've served their purpose to her. So she probably expects that kind of treatment from other people, too. So she's now injured and a liability to Leon's survival. Ugh. And then the elevator starts going. Sorry, Data. Like, I doubt she got up and started it up while laying on the bed like that. It probably just automatically went back after cooling down. Like, she probably expects that from others also. She expects other people to also treat her with the same emotionally manipulative, casual disposal that she... Like, that's how she sees the world because of her profession. So when Leon's like, no, dude, like, I actually have to take care of you because I'm a cop and all that, she's probably like, I didn't I didn't think that people like you existed in this world, you know? Like, I've only known you for a short period, but like, you're being pretty legit, and that's kind of a big deal for someone like me. So, also, I would really like it if you didn't die because of me. And also a little bit of like, get the fuck out of here, I have shit to do, right? Like, it's a little bit of both with Ada. But yeah, like, again, it's pretty clear that... Where am I supposed to use this? Not here. It's pretty clear that, like, G. William Birkin is, I think, pretty explicitly inspired by John Carpenter's The Thing, where it starts out looking like a person with clear Monster Mash elements to it, but then, like, the more monstrous it becomes, the more it just devolves into this pile of screeching, just fangs and teeth and blood and viscera. And it's like, oh god, fuck. And that has always been what's distinguished Resident Evil's style of horror. Is it's body horror. It's the visceral bodily fear of an illness, like a sickness, a virus, a biological contaminant infecting your body and causing you to physically deteriorate. It is like a microscopic organism invading your body and causing you to break down and being ripped apart from the inside out. So this was... I could have done this in Claire's game and it would have impacted Leon's game, is there's some gas you can disperse that kills all of the plants, but because, like, repeated exposure, prolonged exposure will result in the creation of adaptive antibodies. So if you use the gas during Claire's game, the plants will be stronger during Leon's game. And because I had the fire grenades, it was really not worth it to even use the gas during Claire's game. It's better to save it and just burn them. And then during Leon's game, you can go ahead and use the Epsilon gas. And that will make going through the lab as Leon a little bit easier. Like, other survival horror series distinguish themselves with different kinds of horror. Like, Silent Hill is a cult-based horror. It's supernatural horror. It's like a world of nightmarish delusions come to life, with actual monsters from hell being projected onto reality in like some kind of mental projection kind of thing. Like, the fear is from like nightmarish occultism come to life. Other survival horror series might be more psychological horror, where the fear is like, oh shit, what's... Yeah, liquors. Super liquors! These liquors are upgraded. But so is my shotgun. There we go. Yeah! Again, look at how much the shotgun is knocking Leon back like that. There we go. Other franchises might be more psychological horror, where the fear comes from the game trying to, like, get into your head. Employees only. Only employees can jump into the iron smelting pot. But the fear in Resident Evil is, and always has been, like, you are getting infected by a, like, contagion. And it is causing you to break down. Like, your body is decomposing while you're still alive. Your mental... Like, your brain is rotting inside your skull. And you are becoming a monstrosity. That has always been, like, the style of horror that Resident Evil goes for. Even in its later entries, where it becomes more action-based. And that's something good that Resident Evil 7 did. Like, a big concern for me with Resident Evil 7 was the worry that it would start trying to go for supernatural horror, because based on the demo, it seemed like it had some kind of weird supernatural elements to it. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. Thankfully, it did stick to, like, body horror. And in fact, it even updated it, because this game was inspired by the, like, gross-out gore horror movies from the 80s. So this was the door that we never went through as Claire, because we couldn't. From the 80s, like John Carpenter. John Carpenter's movies like The Thing. But Resident Evil 7 was a little bit more inspired by modern body horror movies like Hostel and whatnot, where your character's, like, limbs are getting chopped off in that game, and the fear is, like, you're getting infected by this, in Resident Evil 7, it was actually like The Last of Us. It was like a fungus. You're being infected by a fungus that's turning you into a molded, and that's, like, a really disturbing fear also. You actually saw that in the demo, where if you get bitten by one, you, like, succumb to the infection. That's how the demo ends. And in the main game, you get your fucking limbs chopped off, and it's really visceral and disturbing and scary. So...
Where did she go?
Well, like, she just got pimp slapped. It wasn't that bad. She probably just threw a green herb on there and walked out, right? She got shit to do, Leon. I'm just saying. Yeah. We can't go in here because Sherry's in there. Leon can't go into that safe room. Although I think his exploration around the lab is a little bit more truncated compared to Claire's. Yeah, this catwalk is where Ada would fall and quote-unquote die in Leon A, and it's really stupid. Yep, even though Claire is here, and her safe room is locked because Sherry is in it. Ooh, is the... I'm trying to remember. Because I want to turn on that gas so I don't have to deal with these fucking plants. Apparently Leon still has to turn on the power also, which is stupid. Like, they both have to turn on the fuses for the power. And, like, speaking of John Carpenter and how G is clearly inspired by that, by The Thing. Just like, Claire and Sherry are Ripley and Newt from Alien, and the Mr. X is the Terminator. G, William Birkin, is The Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing. And speaking of him, honestly, when you think about it, the applicability of the G virus actually seems kind of fucking stupid. Like, how are you supposed to use this to make bioweapons with? Right? Like, I get it, he's really durable. Like, every time we kill him, he comes back and he's even more monstrous. Like, he's breaking the law of, like, physics, where, like, where's all that extra mass coming from? Right? The virus. Like, I get, like, he's really durable and strong, and he only gets more and more powerful the more you fight him. And, like, that's pretty good for a while, but, like, you can only use it on one guy. You inject it one person at a time, and it doesn't perpetuate. Like, he doesn't infect other people with it. Like, he injects them with his G embryos, but that just makes more embryo monsters, and again, that just makes more monsters that you have to deal with afterwards. And he's not a weapon. He doesn't have, like the Tyrant, Mr. X, has programming in him where he has a mission that he's trying to accomplish after being unleashed into the city here. But G is just following, like, these weird, survival instincts, or he wants to infect people with his G embryos. Like, he infected Chief Irons with his none of that. With his with his G embryos, and he wants to fuck his daughter and infect her with his G embryos. And so here's what. Oh wait, this is already gone because of Claire. God damn it. I was gonna be like, yeah, we actually have a lighter now, but we don't. Again, I believe this is where we can use the gas. In here or in the next room. Yes, there we go. So this will kill or like severely retard the plant monsters. I thought there was an item in one of these beds, but no. I wonder if I could still light it on fire for no reason. I believe it also affects the liquors, actually. I forget. But anyway, like, when you think about it, like, the idea of, like, the G monster isn't really that awesome of an idea for a bioweapon. Like, you can't control it. That's always this problem where these monsters, where you unleash them, and yeah, they could fuck up people in the place you set them loose in, but now you still have to deal with these monsters being there. But then again, he kind of didn't really have a chance to, like, do anything with, like, you think that, but, like, the T-Virus is also kind of a stupid thing in terms of, like, weaponizing a virus, because, yeah, I believe they should be, like, weaker now instead of killed, and also we have this flamethrower. Oh god, I get poisoned. No. But when you think about it, like, you think, like, oh, how's the T-Virus supposed to work, though? You drop a vial out of a helicopter of T-Virus into the city, and that's supposed to be your weapon? But, like, no! Because if you remember, in Resident Evil 1, in the lab under the mansion, they weren't experimenting with using the T-Virus on human test subjects. The outbreak in the mansion was an accident. That wasn't the intention. Because of course they wouldn't want to use the T-Virus on human subjects. It just turns you into a shitty zombie. They probably, like, used the T-Virus once on a person out of curiosity or something, saw that it just turned them into a shitty zombie and went, okay, let's not do that anymore because that's stupid. And in the lab underneath the Spencer estate, they were using the T-Virus on animals. They were using animals as test subjects. They were using them on, like, dogs and shit to see what kind of fucked up shit the virus would do to dogs. Okay, I need the fingerprint in the moth room, and then I'll be able to open this and reap the benefits of Claire's hard work. And on sharks, to make, like, giant sharks like the Neptune and whatnot. Ugh. Do not poison me! Where's that light switch? Like, it was probably never intended to use the T-Virus on humans. So, like, the zombies and whatnot, that was an accident. And like, the other, like, they were testing him on all these different animals and accidentally into some plants, and also on reptiles, which resulted in the Hunter. They made, like, that was really Umbrella's biggest success, was the Hunter. Because, like, they were using it on dogs, and it was like, oh, it just makes a shitty dog. They used it on the sharks, and it's like, oh, it just made a big shark. Whoop-de-doo. And then you have the fucking Hunter, which is like this reptilian killing machine, and it was like, whoa! Like, the Hunter kicks ass! The Hunter was by far, like, the best success in terms of, like, in Umbrella's drive to create BOWs, biological weapons. When you think about it, like, that was the peak of Umbrella's, like, research and development. It was the Hunters and the Tyrant, which, at the time, there was only the one Tyrant. And Wesker kind of fucked that one up. I wonder if the... Okay, let's not take our chances. Flamethrower kind of sucks in this game. And has a very small tank. Yeah, out of the air. Aw, you poor bitches. You see how much easier this is with Leon instead of Claire? With these fucking upgraded weapons? Like, when you think about, like, especially compared to all the other shit, which you can basically consider to be failures, the Hunter was Umbrella's only real one huge big success. And that was what was really cool about Revelations, in the first Revelations game, is you got to see what it looked like when someone unleashed a small army of hunters on a city. Like, in Revelations, Terra Grigia was a city that was like a big dumb Atlantis thing. And some motherfuckers unleashed a fucking army of hunters into the city. And you saw what it looked like on the ground when, like, a bioterrorism outbreak of actually effective fucking bioweapons, such as the Hunters. Yeah, Flamethrower is kind of shitty. I mean, with the gas, you can just use the shotgun on them, and it will be fine. And look at how many Magnum bullets I have. Is you really got to see, like, this is what was at stake, you know? This is what Umbrella wanted to achieve, when you think about it. There we go. Let's kill this moth and get our fingerprint in there. It's that idea of, like, in Sonic Unleashed, where it's like, oh, he finally made Eggman land. This is what he wanted to make that whole time. Aren't you glad you've been fighting him all this time now? Like, we saw, like, this is what the fruits of Umbrella's labor could have been capable of. Oh god, I'm gonna have to waste a shotgun. 2 shotguns. God damn it, what's going on here? There we go. Fuck me, that's such a waste. Yes, guessed. Is you saw, like, oh my god, here's an army of hunters, and they are just ruining everyone's fucking life. Because hunters are pretty fucking badass. Like, imagine, like a third world country, or like a mercenary unit. What are those called? A PMC getting sold like a Costco bulk load of hunters, right? And imagine the kind of shit that they can get up to. That is what Umbrella has wrought onto the world. Especially since Umbrella went under, so therefore, like, all of the shit that they've been developing kinda got let loose, especially with people like Ada Wong, who are working for, like, this mysterious other agency, who are trying to steal all of Umbrella's corporate secrets. So, like, not only are the people who work for Umbrella still out there doing shit, but you have, like, corporate spies stealing insider information and selling it to other companies. On top of that, I want to go get what's in that room that you need the fingerprints for. So that's what I like about Resident Evil, is like how, you know how in Yu-Gi-Oh! The entire setting revolves around card games? Like, in Resident Evil, the entire setting revolves around viruses and bioterror and biological warfare. It's like how in Metal Gear Solid 2, Ocelot sold the schematics of Metal Gear Rex on the black market. So now all these like third world countries and PMCs have their own shitty knockoff brand of Metal Gear. So in Resident Evil, now all these third world countries and like revolutionaries can just buy a canister of knockoff T-virus, of derivative recreations of the T-virus, and try and use them in their schemes on the world stage. And that's why you get organizations like the BSAA. After everything with Umbrella has been resolved, the threat of bioterrorism and all of the virus shit that Umbrella developed is still out there. Fuck me. Please stop. Is still out there in the world and needs to be dealt with. Particularly with hunters and mass-produced tyrants, like a Mr. X. And we actually see another example of mass-produced tyrants in Code Veronica. That's actually funny, is hunters aren't even in Resident Evil 2. Hunters are... Oh, that's it? Okay. It's broken from the inside. What could have been in there? But instead of hunters, we had lickers. And lickers are pretty funny because, like, Remake actually retconned what lickers are. Because, you know how Remake had the Crimson Heads? Which were zombies that, like, you killed them. And, like, the T-virus mutated inside their bodies, and they became, like, more badass zombies and shit. Like, 28 days later zombies, basically. Ugh. But, Remake, like, lickers are supposed to be, like, I forget what they're said to be in this game, but Remake retconned what lickers are. Because you look at lickers and it's like, why would you design BOWs like this? Like, they're shitty, they're blind, they have no skin, like, this sucks. Why would Umbrella make lickers? But they didn't make lickers. Like, lickers are just Crimson Heads that rotted for too long. Like, in the Spencer estate, Crimson Heads could, like, pop back up really quick and come after you, but here in Raccoon City, where the outbreak has been going on for, like, days and days, like a week straight, those Crimson Heads have had time to rot away and degenerate, and lickers are the result. Lickers are Crimson Heads that have, like, their skin has melted off. And it makes sense why you wouldn't see hunters in Resident Evil 2. Although they do show up, shitty hunters show up in Resident Evil 3, but like, the point, like, there were hunters in Resident Evil 1 because that was a research facility of Umbrella, and they made hunters there. So we upgraded the Desert Eagle, and now it's AE, who's added 10-inch barrel. So now it's just a more powerful Magnum. So this is like the strongest fucking weapon in the game. And we have plenty of bullets, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and show it off a little bit. What up, zombies? Oh, hello. Goodbye. Look at how much recoil that has. And every shot is a headshot with the Magnum. It's fucking awesome. That'd be interesting if they did something like that in Remake 2, where they have different zombies turn into lickers, like how different zombies turned into Crimson Heads. Probably not, though, because, like, again, there were hunters in the Spencer State because they developed hunters there. They were creating hunters there, and chimeras and shit. But here, out in the wild, like, the T-Virus just got out by accident. So all of this shit is happening outside of Umbrella's, like, design. This is just happening in the wild. So all these zombies are running around. Eventually they're gonna decompose into lickers, is the logic behind it. Like, there was no intentional design. None of what you encounter, aside from, like, the G-Virus and the Tyrant, and maybe some, like, the plants, because they're here in the lab, were intentionally made by Umbrella.